Okay, boom. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about what is sneaker reselling, how you guys can get started in sneaker reselling, and just briefly going over certain things like in the sneaker reselling community. So stuff you guys need to know for you guys to get started. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll go over all the things. Okay, so exactly what is sneaker reselling? So sneaker reselling is where you buy a shoe and then you sell it back at a profit. So for example, the Panda Dunks are coming out January 19th. So in this example, the Panda Dunks are 110 retail. So then you'd pay that 110 and then you could sell it for $170, we'll say. Then you make the difference. So 110 minus 170, you'd make $60. But the key with reselling, well, sneaker reselling at least, is volume. If you can get multiple pairs of one shoe or multiple pairs of shoes in general, then that's better because then, for example, we use the Panda Dunk still, you make that $60 profit, but if you do it for 5 shoes or 10 shoes, we'll say that's $600 profit. So the key with reselling, sneaker reselling, is volume. You want to make sure you're selling a lot of shoes and continually reinvesting the money that you do get back into shoes. Now, there are a few different ways to resell. Some people do what I do, which is botting, and that's where you get bots to actually buy the shoes for you, and you can get multiple for a retail price from different sites. So I do Nike botting right now, which is essentially I'll get a bot, I'll get a bunch of accounts, and then I'll enter those accounts to get shoes from Nike, and that's kind of what I do. There's other bots for different sites, and there's so much more with botting. I will say botting has a kind of like an entry barrier that you do have to understand. It's important that you do research bots and what it is to bot because it is kind of complicated, it is time consuming, and it does have a money upfront type of deal. Like you have to actually buy the bots. There's things called proxies that you have to buy. There's servers that you have to buy. There's accounts that you have to buy. So with botting, it's important that you understand that there is an investment that you have to do up front and that it is time consuming. So it's important that you learn about bots before just jumping into one. I made that mistake and I bought my first bot way too soon, way too early, or I rented it out. And I rented it and it was just a bad experience. I got no shoes with it and I paid, I think it was like I paid $100 for the bot, $50 for the proxies, and then I had to spend a whole bunch of time just creating accounts. So that was a big waste of money and something I wish I actually had more knowledge on before doing. Another way to resell, which is really big in places that are like bigger cities, so New York, LA, like bigger towns like that, is looping. And essentially what looping is when you go to, let's say, like a Shoe Palace or a Foot Locker, and then you get in line and then you get the option to buy one shoe. But most of the time it has like a one checkout per customer type of deal. So then what you would do is you just continually go back in line, maybe through disguising, having friends there with you that could help buy the shoe for you. And essentially you just keep going back and buying the same shoe over and over. Like I said, in bigger cities it works better because sometimes in smaller areas they will really like enforce that one per person rule. So it is kind of hard in smaller towns, but it is very possible. Another way to resell, which works really when you have a bigger following, is when you buy shoes for a resale price and then you sell it at an even higher price. So we'll use the Panda Dunk example again, just because it is a very simple shoe and easy to understand. So in this example, we'll say we bought the Panda Dunk for $130 off of someone else in our local market, and then we buy it at $130 and then we sell it for $160. Now we made $30 profit, which is very possible, and I've done it multiple times. I bought Jordan 1 Low Shadows. I bought them at $120 a piece. I bought 4 pair, I think. And then I sold them the same day to a sneaker store locally for $160 a piece. So it's just like simple things like that. You could really turn a profit quick. Sometimes it is hard though, especially if you don't have a following, because buying shoes at resale is kind of risky, especially if maybe that shoe is going to restock soon, or like something happened and like there's a big announcement or the hype dies around it. So buying shoes at a resale price can be kind of risky, but sometimes, especially like I said, with a big following, or if you know that a local sneaker store needs something, or you know someone personally that needs something, buying them at a resale price is it can make you a good profit. And that's also what like a lot of bigger people do, like bigger YouTubers. people who already have a following on Instagram, they could buy from people like you and me, and they could sell to their audience at a higher price. And that's exactly what sneaker stores do as well. They buy from resellers like me and then sell to the normal customer. So it is very important that as a reseller that you do try to grow your following, because having more eyes on you allows you to get more sales, which allows you to turn out a more profit quicker. Like I said, in this industry, sneaker reselling, volume is key. You want to make sure you're selling as much shoes as possible and having as much shoes come in and out of your inventory. And it's just important that you keep track of stuff like that too. Not only for taxes, but because it's important to kind of see how much money you're making, and then it kind of lets you understand if it's worth to buy a shoe at a certain price. For that type of reselling, it's important that you look at places like Facebook and join Facebook groups. There's you could really source through Facebook and Facebook groups. There are safe ways of paying through PayPal, and that like kind of eliminates the risk of you getting scammed or you buying a fake shoe. So that's kind of important to read up on. So yeah, using Facebook groups, actually using Facebook Marketplace for your local area, OfferUp, Instagram, just seeing what people are already selling. Maybe you could go on there and kind of lowball, and you might be able to lowball and then sell it to someone same day or next day in the same area. So it's just important that you use what you have at like what you have ready to kind of source pairs, or like say if the retail is slow, like no sites are actually dropping shoes, then it's important that you kind of look around in your area, see what you could pick up for a cheaper deal, and then maybe you could sell to a store or someone through your connections. Another way to make money with shoes is something called sneaker investing, which is something you should only do after you've been reselling for a while and kind of understand the sneaker market, because similar to stocks, sneakers go up and down depending on release date. There's different factors that come into play, but release date is one. Hype is one. If it's like a collab shoe, if there's someone tied to it, something like a Travis Scott may just do better in price because his name is tied to it, and or maybe a shoe is better for that like season. So there's just different things to pay attention to when buying shoes and understanding how the market will go. But sneaker investing is essentially whenever you buy maybe a bunch of shoes at a certain price because you think that the price will go up in the future. So a lot of people may have made money. Once again, we use the Panda Dunk, for example. When it first released, if a lot of people bought that for retail and held on to it, I remember when the hype was around it, you could sell that for $220, $250. I remember hearing people buying them for $300. So it's just kind of important that you look at prices and understand the sneaker market. Things like Jordan 4s perform well whenever you hold them. Dunks were doing really well earlier last year when there was a lot of hype surrounding about Dunks. Recently, the hype has kind of died down, so it's just kind of like you have to watch the market and understand trends. But any shoe could be an investment shoe. So that is just one thing to kind of understand. Someone who really goes in depth and talks really a lot about it is Sneaker Invest. I think it's Sneaker Invest or Sneaker Investor, something like that. I'll tag him down below. His videos go really in depth and they give you kind of a better overview of what sneaker investing is from someone who's actually done it and successful in it. So I'll make sure I'll tag that down below, but most of you guys probably already know. Okay, so that's just a short overview of what sneaker reselling is, how people can get started in reselling, and the different types of sneaker reselling that is out there. Now, reselling isn't limited to just sneakers. There's so much more out there. Earlier in 2021 and 2022, I sold PlayStation 5s, which was really good. I sold Xboxes. I've sold computer graphics cards. I've sold so much because there's so much money to be made in this type of reselling environment. But like I said in the previous clips, I will be going over, I will be making videos to go over more in-depth styles of reselling, things like botting, things like buying shoes at a resale price. So I hope you guys stay tuned for those videos. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching this video currently. We're still growing. We're at 120 subscribers, I think, which is pretty crazy because I just released the thank you for 100 subscribers recently. So I just want to thank you guys for the continuous support, and I hope you guys stay tuned for more videos. Like I said, thank you guys for watching.